2,000 metres. Light is on. And they're off and racing. Tar Heel Boy was slow to begin, missed it 2 lengths, and Good and Fast was slow out. One of the first to begin would have been Daydale from At Best and Charleston Party White. Cashin goes to 4th, and then Mr. Tarantel. Baron Samedi was 6th, a length away Eager Prince inside Good and Fast, and 2 lengths to Tar Heel Boy. About 1,600 metres left to travel. Daydale in front, but Charleston Party's going to whip around them on the outside, and the top weight leads. Charleston Party a length and a half in front of At Best and Daydale. Mr. Tarantel's 3 wide, not a lot of speed on. Then Good and Fast and Cash in on the inside, a length and a half to Eager Prince. Baron Samedi second last, and a length away Tar Heel Boy, about 8 lengths off the lead. 1,300 metres to travel, and Charleston Party leads a length and a quarter. Second, Mr. Tarantel, a length away At Best, 1.5 to Daydale. 2 lengths away Cash in racing 5th at the moment on the inside. Eager Prince is just behind it with Baron Samedi, and a length and a half away last of all was, as they go along the back, Tar Heel Boy. Mr. Tarantel's gone up a length and a half behind Charleston Party. With 1,000 metres left to go, the top weight leads by 3/4 of a length. Charleston Party in front, second Mr. Tarantel, a length and a half away than a Daydale, third on the outside of At Best, a length and a half to Good and Fast. Then Cash in, 2 lengths away Baron Samedi, which has had a nice run. Eager Prince is under pressure, and Tar Heel Boy goes past it. 700 metres left to travel in the second race, the Ooh La La Stakes, and Mr. Tarantel went up to take a narrow lead from Charleston Party. A length and a half away Daydale to third. Baron Samedi running on strongly with Good and Fast. At Best under pressure, followed by Cash in over on the fence. A couple of lengths to Tar Heel Boy, and Eager Prince has tailed off. At the top of the straight though, Mr. Tarantel leads by a length to Good and Fast, wearing it down. Then Charleston Party, Baron Samedi running on strongly, and Daydale goes for the run up on the rails. 300 metres to go, Mr. Tarantel, Good and Fast together, running on Daydale up along the fence, and Baron Samedi on the outside, joining in strongly. Baron Samedi went up to hit the front, Daydale getting up on the rails, and then Mr. Tarantel. It's Daydale on the inside, Baron Samedi the outer. Daydale's got a half a length in front near the post. Daydale is hanging on and he'll win. Daydale by a neck to Baron Samedi, and Good and Fast, then Mr. Tarantel. Charleston Party, Cash in a break in the field to Tar Heel Boy, and At Best, and last of all was Eager Prince. Number 5, Daydale, you'll find is the winner of the Ooh La La Stakes, ridden by Jim Cassidy.
Well, that was a very good ride of Jimmy's on Daydale. Dan, he saved a lot of ground, he got the run. You'll find Baron Samedi was very unlucky that he looked like winning coming to the 200, but he wanted to lay in, and as I was saying the other day, horses that lay in with you, they're difficult to ride out. And you can see here, Michael Clark's ranged up outside them. Just going to go for the horse. He'll be riding him hands and heels, and when he goes to pull the whip, he wants to get in on top of Good and Fast. It's a little bit further on from here. It should come up any minute now. But he'll get in on top of those horses, and he's had to stop riding him, pull off, and Jimmy's been able to go on and win the race.
Good ride by Jim, because he went for the rails run. There was enough room for him. It was quite a slog and go. Baron Samedi just starts to get closer to Good and Fast now, Gary.
He's getting in on top of him now, and you'll see Michael will have to stop riding him, pull off. And that's what I say, if you can get on that rail, it's a great advantage to your riding horses out. See, he's having to stop now, and he's put the whip away now. He's got to turn the horse's head out, bring the horse away from those other 2 horses in between him. They're a bit tight there, but he'll sort of bring the horse away from him again, and it's very difficult then to ride a horse out.
And while all this was happening, Daydale snuck through along the fence, a horse trained by Dr. Jeff Chapman, and the doctor is talking with Peter.
Yes, the doctor's down here now. Jeff, does that in some small way make up for what happened on Tuesday?
I can't answer that.
All right.
There's a lot of difference between 1.3 million and 30,000.
Yeah, just a slight difference, but it's still nice to win.
Oh, yes, sure is. Yes. He'll be a good horse. I only brought him down because we'll be back here next year, I hope, at the same time, win a different race.
Any excuses for him at Geelong?
Yeah, he drew an outside alley and he had to go across to the fence because they're short straight. Then they speeded up and slowed down. He's very inexperienced, the horse, and he always tends to pull up a bit.
Interesting to see whether they go to both sides of the track here. We believe quite possibly they may only stick to the inside. Let's check the latest 2.5 kilos. One at Caulfield, got the blows that day, was about 4s out to 8s, but one quite impressively beating Tallura Twist by a length and a quarter. Now on the exposed form, this is the one to beat Chinquillo. She's showing around about 6 to 4 on the tote for a 50-cent investment. She looks well, but she is drawn out wide, and apparently, Graham, they are thinking of coming to the inside, are they?
Yes, that's correct. Michael Clark's been told by David Hayes, or advised by him, that to go across towards the inside, because he feels the horse will be, the filly will be worried if she goes to the outside. She won't quite know what's happening. Number 2, Perfect Prospect, with Jim Cassidy aboard. It's quite a nice looker, trained by the former Melbourne Cup winning jockey Bob Skelton. 2 runs have been quite good, a 3rd in the Debutant and the 4th in the Great Western behind Zodiac Miss. He looks well, she looks well, she'll be improved by those runs, and she's an outsider with a chance.
Number 3 is Sparky Miss, and this horse is having its 4th start in a race, ran 2 placings here at Flemington and then Caulfield before running 5th at Moonee Valley. That race was over 1,000 metres, and it's a tough 1,000-metre track at Moonee Valley, because if you get in the wrong position there, you're virtually out of business 200 metres after the start. So I'd say forgive that run, and with Lance O'Sullivan in the saddle, she should run well.
Number 4, Amoret, Stephen King, may not be quite tuned up for today's race, but she trialled very well down the straight last week, and she's said to be very good, but she may do better later on, perhaps in the autumn.
Well, another one in the John Marr stable is Amoret, is Racing Ruler. We'll come to that later, but first of all, number 5, Astute Angel, having its first start. One trained by Jimmy Kennedy, and Jimmy has already been successful here today. And that was with Mr. Sulu in the first event, so I wonder if he can train a baby to victory here. Astute Angel, beautifully bred by God's Walk out of the brilliant race mare Canny Lass, and if she's inherited any of her mother's abilities, she'll be very hard to beat.
Number 10, Racing Ruler, has the services of Darren Gauci by Bluebird, who's a very good first crop sire. He's also trialled well here last week, but she'll probably appreciate 12 or 1400 metres, but I expect Racing Ruler to be coming home pretty solidly.
Number 12 is a chestnut filly, one trained by Bart Cummings, and her name is Snippety, having her first start in a race. Raced and trained, raced by Mr. and Mrs. Vic Peters, who of course had tremendous success with Taj Rossi back in the early 70s, carries the same colours. I saw this little filly out at the track yesterday when I came out to see Richfield's Lady. She's a lovely chunky little thing. She is really exuding power as she goes up there to the stalls, and she's well in the betting.
Another nice type is...
It's a great guide for you.
Well, I can see Amoret playing up a little bit in barrier 6, it looks like, 6 or 7. Barrier 6, Amoret with Stephen King. And I think we only have Talora Twister come up to the line, Gary. It's about to come up to the gates now. So a big field here of 20. They'll run down the straight 1,000 metres. Talora Twist going into her position. She ran 2nd to Chinquillo at her first start at pretty big odds. And Talora Twist goes up now. Chinquillo's drawn out wide, 4th from the outside in the royal blue and pink colours. Now they look to be just about set to go for race 3, the Beck's Beer Stakes. Field of 20, the light is on.
Just a minute, boys, settle down.
All set for a start for race 3 on Oaks Day. The light did go on, it went off again. Starters on his platform. They look to be pretty right. Lights back on again, and they're off and racing. Azure Lady a little bit slow. Velvetina jumped out fairly with Proven Peace. Bendrum showing speed early. Then Amoret, and they were followed out wider on the track by Spiritual Self, and going pretty quickly was Fast Work. And they were trying to split up, but as we talked about earlier, a few of these horses went to go to the outside, and Chinquillo, one of them, has now gone back to the fence, and Sevi Pill's going to be the lone runner coming down the grandstand side. About 600 metres to go. Spiritual Self and Fast Work are the leaders. From Talora Twist and then Velvetina, behind them Azure Lady. Perfect Prospect and Chinquillo out wider, and running a fair race 2 was Golden Deed out deep. Snippety was next, and they were followed by Sparky Miss, and Amoret was further back, and coming down the grandstand side on its own was Sevi Pill. 300 metres left to go though, and Golden Deed's at the front, one of the boulders. Got a half a length in front of Chinquillo. Sparky Miss is running on strongly, and then Perfect Prospect and Snippety, and down the outside Racing Ruler. Chinquillo's fought back on the inside to be just in front of Golden Deed, whose run's ended, and the favourite's going to win. Rattling home was Racing Ruler, but Chinquillo wins a length. Golden Deed second, Racing Ruler a big run for third, and then Sparky Miss, Astute Angel. Perfect Prospect behind them from Fast Work. Then Velvetina, well back was Snippety. Azure Lady well back, and then came Amoret from Astelia Princess. Further back Spiritual Self, and then came Talora Twist. Video Girl, Sevi Pill. Then came Atlantic Love at Bendrum. Rose County and Proven Peace was back at the tail of the field. Good run by the winner Chinquillo, Gary, because when they jumped, Chinquillo went to the outside. $1.20 at 75 expected should pay. $13.35 for second and $2.50 for third. But about 100 metres after the start, it looked like the horse wanted to go to the flat side.
Well, I think what happened, what you've always got to be careful is when they
here we go here.
Start here.
We're looking at 4th from the outside, Chinquillo.
And if you've got someone drawn inside you wants to go to the outside, the stewards are very strict that you have to give them that 2 lengths clear before you cross them.
Barrier 17, now they're off. You can see a few of these horses jump out wider.
Yeah, I thought a few of them were going to go to the outside. But it'll be interesting later on when the film rolls on, and I'll show you what I've been talking about, how difficult it is to ride a horse out when you're out there on your own.
You can see this. She's left out there on her own. All of a sudden, she veers inwards.
That's right. Well, Michael most probably had to clear those couple of horses, but she's gone to the line very strong. But when this film rolls on a bit, it'll be interesting to see that horse now. It's nearly got to the outside rail. And when it comes down, you'll notice this horse, it'll gradually shift in because it'll see the other horses on the other side. It's by itself. It'll be looking at other things. When a horse is going Melbourne way, it should be leading with the near side. That's your left hand. It'll be out there. You should be leading on the other leg.
Coming in now, actually.
Now it'll gradually shift in further and further, and it's very difficult. It's all right on an older horse because I've been down there a few times, but it'll gradually shift in, and it'll gradually get nearly halfway across the course again by the time they reach the winning post.
Well, David Hayes has trained the winner, Gary Chinquillo, and just what a phenomenal run this man has had with his 2-year-olds this season. It's been a brilliant year for the Lindsay Park stable in Adelaide, and David is talking with Peter Donegan.
Well, David, you have had a great run, but gee, that was a top performance by Chinquillo after those troubles at the start.
From barrier 18, and it looked like he was going to go to the outside, then changed his mind. You know, she's got a lot of ability, this filly, and owned in the same connections as Verdingley, so they're in for a bit of fun, I think, the connections.
Yeah, I think they certainly are. Was it more the fact that perhaps the gouch on the inside of you wanted to go to the outside? Did Michael have his mind made up before he went down?
No, Michael went down with an open mind, and obviously there was a breakdown in communications between Gouchy and Michael, and they wanted to go in different directions, and then Michael gave in and changed his mind, thankfully.
Is that something the jockeys would normally talk about when they get down to the barrier?
Oh, it's sensible, you know, are you going inside or outside? That's the sort of thing they discuss, so they don't knock each other down and going in different directions.
Well, really, after all that, she was entitled to weaken, but the strongest part of the race was the end.
Exactly, yeah. One ran past her at the furlong, and she fought back and won. And it's always hard to tell from the stand, but it looked quite a convincing win.
We're taking a look at the replay at the end of the race now. What would your plans be for her? Are you really aiming for the top, Blue Diamond, Golden Slipper?
I really do think she could be a Blue Diamond filly.
1 to about 8. If you're caught wide here, it's very difficult because it's pretty much a long turn from the 1400 metres to the 500 metres point. That's
at his first start down here, when he came from a long way back into the straight to be just beaten by Alias Comabash. He looks quite well, trained by Jack Denham, will have the service of Mick Dittman, and I'm sure he's going to run well. Well,
that's number 2, Glorious Day, we're about to look at. And Glorious Day number 2, as we have a quick look there at Enjoy Dancing. There's Glorious Day. Now, well, you couldn't have him on his last start behind Naturalism in the BMW Vase at Moonee Valley, but as Dr. Turf said, his run in the Caulfield Guineas before that was outstanding. He finished 4th behind Chortle, beaten less than 3 lengths, and if he reproduces that run, he'll certainly take a hand in the finish here.
Number 4, New Wonder, with Peter Hutchison aboard, comes in as one of the good chances, with wins at Bendigo and Geelong at his last 2 starts. They were courageous efforts. As you can see, he's a good leggy type. There's a lot to like about him. Now trained by George Hanlon, and George is getting the best out of him. From barrier 4, I'm sure he's going to have the run of the race.
Number 6, Infallible, one to be ridden by Jimmy Cassidy here, a winner at Cranbourne 3 runs ago. Then was a pretty good effort at Caulfield, had to be used up early and ran 5th behind Alias Comabash through a wide gate that day, and had to use a lot of petrol in the early stages of the race. Ran only 7th behind Umatilla here on Derby Day, but back to 1400 metres here, Infallible, well suited.
Number 9, Dendy Park, has Craig Din aboard. Had only 2 runs for 2 wins. They were at provincial meetings in Mornington and Seymour, so he's stepping up in class today. But he's quite a nice type, wearing blinkers. He'll probably run well, but I would prefer to see him against a stronger company.
The one I like at good each way odds is number 12, Soho Square, and there he is. This 3-year-old finished 3rd at Caulfield behind Alias Comabash and came from a mile back on the home turn. And prior to that, also at Caulfield, he'd flashed home in the race won by Umatilla. I reckon he gets his chance today at pretty good each way odds.
Number 13, Schillaci, with Darren Beedman aboard. There's a huge tip about this horse. In fact, it's said to be a good thing. Had only 1 run at Kyneton in the middle of last month. Won well at very short odds. He's improved since, apparently. And from barrier 10, this son of Salieri is expected to be very, very hard to beat.
She's a big, powerful horse too, isn't he, Graham?
And unusually a grey for the Salieris. They're nearly all chestnuts.
Number 14 is Conchana, one of the other chances in the race. 4th behind Alias Comabash at its last start, so it finished just in front of Soho Square. And previous form in the country had been okay, so it's a rough chance at odds with Darren Gouchy in the saddle. So recapping, graded by Peter Don.
Still about half a dozen or so away from the line. A horse that's oriented, continuing to shorten up, is number 13, Schillaci. It's grey in colour, so it'll be pretty easy to pick up. Big horse too. Huge lump of an animal, Schillaci. Now the field looked to be right. All set to go for race 4, first leg of the quadrilla in Victoria. Race before the Oaks, the Lauren Perrier Stakes. Light is on and they're off and racing. But a little bit slow to begin would have been Glorious Day. He's immediately out the tail early with Brooklyn Chimes. One of the first out would have been On With It, and getting away smartly was Hula Warrior. Conchana up there from Balmoral, Bow and Scalacci. Thank You All going around them out very wide, and close up on the inside New Wonder, followed by Soho Square and Hula Warrior. Bob's Party's around them out 3 deep, and they were followed by Temporize. Getting up along the inside next as they settled fully into stride would have been Infallible. A length and a half away then A Glorious Day, and back towards the tail of the field was Brooklyn Chimes. As they settle and go up towards the 800 metres point, and Thank You All, one of the outsiders goes up to lead from On With It. A half length away, Conchana the fence. Infallible goes up to 4th, Balmoral Bow 5th. Scalacci's out very wide, and then came Soho Square. Back behind those as they run up to the home turn was Temporize. Brooklyn Chimes was next on the inside as they come around the bend. Dendy Park was well back as they come around the turn, 500 metres to go. On With It leads by Nectar, Thank You All. Infallible went up 3 wide. Scalacci behind them. Conchana needs a run. Dendy Park, Soho Square. Further back to Prince Acumen, getting out and running on strongly. 300 metres to go. Infallible taken on by Scalacci. Getting up on the fence, Balmoral Bow. Then Soho Square, Prince Acumen getting out. Enjoy Dancing down the outside. Infallible fighting on's just got his head in front of Scalacci. Here's Enjoy Dancing on the outside, starting to rattle home with a big weight. Enjoy Dancing hits the front from Infallible, and Enjoy Dancing's going on to score by a length and a half. Second Infallible, third home Soho Square. Then Conchana, close up Glorious Day. Behind them was Temporize, and then Scalacci, New Wonder, Balmoral Bow, Hula Warrior, Dendy Park, Brooklyn Chimes, Bob's Party, Thank You All. And On With It after leading was tiring pretty badly at the finish, and it's run last. Big run here, Gary, because it's a lot of weight to carry. 59 kilos from barrier 13 over 1400 at Flemington, and expect 260 and 95, 210 for Infallible and 120 for Soho Square.
Well, it's a very big weight, 59 kilos, but you know, Mick Dippman's such a great rider. He seems to be able to get everything out of a horse. He brought that horse right along at the right time. It's very hard. He drew 13. He would have had to nurse the horse in the run to bring it out with 59 kilos and to get home. A couple of other good runs. Infallible ran a very good race. You were a bit keen on that, Dan. It ran well. Here's the finish now, and here's Mick Dippman bringing Infallible along. About 200 metres to go. He's one of the most vigorous riders in Australia, and I'd have to rate him, I think, the best rider in Australia at the moment, Dan.
Yeah, the way he's put this horse into the race after settling back in the field was a top ride, because he wasn't up there early, and to sprint with 59 kilos is pretty difficult, but he's gone to the post and won quite comfortably. Infallible had to fight off about 5 or 6 horses. Good run.
Very good run. And the horse Rod Dawkins rode, Soho Square, I thought that was a very good run. I thought for one moment, you know, to get up for Rod.
He might be looking for a mile. He's run 3 or 4 cheeky races of late, Soho Square, but he just continues to run those cheeky races without getting to the post, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a lovely horse, but Enjoy Dancing with all the honours with it. 59 kilos from 13 barrier.
Obviously, he was a bit better than these. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the Sandown Guineas Saturday week. He's obviously an ideal type for a race like that.
Well, he's going to take an awful lot of beating, because you...
The 1,000 guineas and the Wakeful. This lovely bay by Grosvenor has a wonderful temperament, and under the set weights conditions of the Oaks, she looks likely to give Bart Cummings yet another win in the Fillies Classic. Sydney filly Yodels could represent the main threat if there is to be one. She ran Richfield Lady to a head last Saturday, but meets the favourite on worse terms on weights. Lady Purpose failed in the Wakeful, but the Lee Freedman trained filly boasts a strong form line. At her previous start, she beat Star of the Realm and the Norman Robinson at Caulfield, and of course that colt went on to win the Derby last Saturday. Dance Floor Doll gives the impression that she'll run the 2,500 metre trip. A third behind Richfield Lady and Yodels last Saturday was preceded by a fast-finishing win over Not Related on Cox Plate Day. Lightly raced Kiwi filly Royal Magic made a big impression in winning the Geelong Oaks trial, but she'll need some luck after drawing the outside alley. And could it be another Cummings Quinella? Pint-sized grey filly India's Dream made up a lot of ground to finish 4th in the Wakeful, and just might be the one to stretch her more favoured stablemate. Fairly close, because they start some 200 metres from the winning post, a short scamper down to the first turn. Richfield Lady drawn ideally in 5. I think she'll occupy a position, and those drawn out wide, including Royal Magic, which has drawn the outside gate, are going to need a little bit of luck. Fillies for the year, and over 2,500 metres they'll be scarpering down to that first turn, most of them in the mounting yard now, and we'll start off with the one that is very popular here and that most of us have selected, number 1, Richfield Lady. Well, she's clean swept the fillies races so far. She won the Edward Manifold here at Flemington, then came out and won the 1,000 guineas at Caulfield and overcame difficulties, and then she won the Wakeful. She only beat Yodels by a head, but under the set weights conditions, she drops 1.5 kilos. Yodels carries the same weight, so on the weights it's pretty hard to see Yodels Hills or anything else beating Richfield Lady home, I'd say, Graham.
Yes, I think so. And in the Wakeful on Saturday, she did cover a lot of extra ground, Peter, so it was a great effort in the circumstances with 57 kilos. 2 Yodels certainly must have a chance, so she fought back very strongly in the Wakeful, only just beaten, and in fact passing us, it looked as though she was going to win, but the class of Richfield Lady just stole those last 80 or 90 metres. Before that, Yodels had run a good third in the Oaks trial over 2,200 metres down at Geelong, so there's no doubt she'll run the distance. And from barrier 2, Mick Dittman is sure to allow her every possible chance.
Great form line for number 3, Lady Purpose, trained by Lee Friedman, ridden by Darren Beedman, this long, leggy filly who gave the potential of being anything when she was a 2-year-old until she got involved in a mishap in the Blue Diamond and then her form went astray. She's now wearing pacifiers though, and if you go back to her run 2 starts ago, well, it's pretty hard to go past her in this because she beat Star of the Realm. Star of the Realm has subsequently come out and won the Victoria Derby on Saturday, so Lady Purpose, an excellent chance on that. She failed in the Wakeful, but you can forgive them one bad run. She's a definite chance.
4 is Dance Floor Doll with Stephen King, who already has the Hong Kong-backed Victoria Derby in the Foster's Melbourne Cup to his credit this week. Dance Floor Doll's at pretty good odds, but I think she's a better chance than those odds would indicate. She ran third in the Wakeful here on Saturday. She was finishing on quite strongly. Before that, she'd won the Crown Lager at Moonee Valley. She will run the 2,500 metres. I don't have any doubts about that, and I'm sure she'll run well.
The grey filly, number 5, High Precious, is to be ridden by Darren Gauchi. Her runs haven't been all that flash on paper, but she hasn't been that far away. She finished 5th in the 1,000 guineas behind Richfield Lady, only beaten 2.5 lengths. Then she went to Moonee Valley. She had no luck at all in the race won by Dance Floor Doll. She never saw daylight until about the last 100 metres, and then she came here to Flemington last Saturday and finished 6 lengths from Richfield Lady in the Wakeful. I think she's a place chance, but again, very hard to see her beating the number 1 saddle.
6 Royal Magic with Lance O'Sullivan aboard, one for the trifecta. She's only had 7 starts for 3 wins. She was having her first outing in Australia when she won the Geelong Oaks trial 10 days ago. That was quite a good effort. She'd beat My Heart's Delight and quite a good feel in the Geelong Oaks, although a lot of the other runners had their chances ruined by interference.
Graham, looking at number 7, India's Dream, I couldn't help thinking of about this time 2 years ago when we saw one trained by Bart Cummings and it had the green and gold blinkers on. She was a grey filly. Her name was Tristanar, and this one in appearance is not unlike Tristanar, although she's probably a wee bit smaller. She's only a tiny filly, this one, India's Dream, but her run on Saturday was excellent. She stormed home behind Richfield Lady, and well, Bart got the big Quinella on Tuesday. I wonder if he could do it again in the Oaks.
Yes, he'll certainly be going for it. Number 8 is Relaxing Racing, a winner over 2,000 metres, at Canterbury 2 starts back, and then 9th in the Geelong Oaks trial, but she was one of the fillies to suffer interference down at Geelong. But then again, I think it would be quite a surprise if she happened to win this race.
Number 9 is Southeastern Star. Harry White takes the ride, and it's round about probably 50 to 1 on the tote, and there's a bit of an outside tip about this Southeastern Star. Finished 10th in the Oaks trial, but prior to that, pretty good 4th behind Richfield Lady here in the Edward Manifold. That was back on the 5th of October, so it was a month ago. They reckon this has got a chance at odds, Southeastern Star.
Number 10 is Lady Bacon with Wayne Trelaw in the saddle. Had 16 starts for 4 seconds and 3/3. I doubt if she's going to break through for a win in this race. She could only finish 14th in the Wakeful on Saturday. She was beaten nearly 12 lengths on that occasion, and I would feel the class is beyond her.
11 is Talato True with Michael Clark in the saddle. She looks well, this filly, but she's stepping up a lot in class here. A winner at Geelong 3 runs ago. Then she went to Ararat and ran a place and ran 4th in the Oaks trial, which wasn't a bad run. Less than 2 lengths from the winner, Royal Magic. And Michael Clark will have her in a handy position. She's round about 30 to 1 and probably has the task ahead.
12 Talent Lover with Brian York in the saddle is one of the outsiders of the race. Her only win from 12 starts was a 1,500 metre race down at Mornington. She was only 10th in the Wakeful on Saturday. It's hard to see her figuring in the finish.
You couldn't get enthusiastic about the prospects of number 13 Mexican Rose, round about the 80 to 1 mark on the tote. Her form was a 7th here in the Wakeful. Prior to that, 11th.
Like this too, and she stepped up in distances and just kept winning. Richfield Lady, the favourite for the Oaks in the field, is just about set for a start for this Group 1 Classic Blue Ribbon event for the fillies. Favourite Richfield Lady in barrier 5. The light is on. Racing in the Oaks. Lady Barkham a bit slow to begin. Yodels won the start from High Precious and India's Dream going up on the outside. Talent Lover kicking up on the fence, and Royal Magic's going very fast from a wide alley. Goes up to sit outside the leaders at the winning post the first time. Lady Purpose goes to 4th out of the straight. High Precious was 6th. Richfield Lady is 7th, but over on the inside of Mexican Rose. Southeastern Star 3 deep and Celestial Symphony 4 wide. Then Dance Floor Doll. Second last was Toledo True, and a length and a half away last of all was Relaxing Racing. Well, the pace slackens off as they go to the 2,000 metres point, and Royal Magic leads them now. The Kiwi fillies are half a length in front. Lady Purpose goes to 2nd. Going around them out wide was Celestial Symphony, one of the rank outsiders. Talent Lover 4th, a length away India's Dream 5th and a half to Yodels. Then Southeastern Star, Richfield Lady pocketed on the inside. They were followed by Lady Barkham racing on the inside of Mexican Rose. A length away then a Toledo True, followed by High Pressures out 3 deep. A half length away second last Dance Floor Doll, and Relaxing Racing was last of all. Inside the 1,600 metres point, Celestial Symphony in front, led by 2 lengths to Royal Magic, which has now got the box seat. Third Lady Purpose, a length away Talent Lover, 1.5 to India's Dream, followed by Yodels. Now Richfield Lady has been able to get off the fence. Southeastern Star still 3 wide. Lady Barkham on the inside, then Mexican Rose, High Precious 3 deep, a length to Toledo True. Dance Floor Doll second last, and 3 lengths away Relaxing Racing. Up the back they go, 1,200 metres to run. Celestial Symphony, the rank outsider in the field, leads the Oaks by a length and a half. Lady Purpose second, Royal Magic third, 3/4 to Talent Lover. A length away on the outside, India's Dream, Yodels the fence, and then Richfield Lady edging closer. A length away Southeastern Star, followed by Lady Barkham. High Precious goes around them out 3 deep, and then came Mexican Rose, Dance Floor Doll. Toledo True ridden along second last, and 3 lengths away Relaxing Racing. 800 metres left to go on the Argyle Diamond Oak Stakes, and Lady Purpose has taken over now. Celestial Symphony's given up, running on strongly. High Precious around the outside. Richfield Lady is only 3 lengths off the lead, but being ridden along by Childs. Southeastern Star went up wide as they made the turn. Lady Purpose in front, 5.50 to go. India's Dream went up quickly to second, then High Precious. Richfield Lady running on. Yodels got shuffled back through the pack as they enter the straight, 400 metres to go. And India's Dream has taken the lead from Lady Purpose. A length and a half away. Richfield Lady now knuckling down the favourite, and she loomed up to hit the front from India's Dream. Lady Purpose. Yodels is out and running on strongly from Southeastern Star. Richfield Lady loomed up to hit the front from India's Dream. 200 to go. India's Dream, the grey, and Richfield Lady. Richfield Lady, the outside's just got ahead in front. India's Dream kicking back the inside, but Richfield Lady wins the Oaks. The favourite's done it again, and Bart's got another Quinella. Richfield Lady beat India's Dream, and third Yodels, followed by Dance Floor Doll, Royal Magic, well back Lady Purpose and High Precious, Talent Lover, Celestial Symphony, Southeastern Star, well back Relaxing Racing, Lady Barkham, second last Mexican Rose, and Toledo True has run last. The winner of the Oaks, to the surprise of no one really, is number 1 Richfield Lady, ridden by Greg Childs. Expected should pay of 90 cents the win and 65 the place. 7 India's Dream, $1.70, and 2 Yodels third, $1.05, 1, 7 and 2 on the Oaks. Gary.
Well, what a beautiful filly, and what a lovely ride Greg Childs had on her. She's just simply outstayed the other horses. We might have seen next year's Melbourne Cup winner here today.
Which one?
The winner,
She's very
Lady.
good.
She just relaxes so well in a race, and just comes along. And what I like about her, when Greg always asks her to find a bit, she's found a bit every time I've seen her.
She's really impressed me today, because at the 600, Greg was just starting to work her along a little bit, and that was right at the point whether she was going to be in the race or not. And she's loomed up at the 400, and then she's had to kick again inside the last 100, and she really found something. She knows how to get to the post, Gary.
She certainly does. Well, here she comes now. They're coming up to the 200-metre mark. The stablemate Indian's Dream is sort of holding her here, but this is, the mark of a great horse. She just keeps finding for Greg here, and she gradually gets the upper hand. Yodels has ran a very good race again. And Bart, well, what can we say about him, Dan? He's just magic, the way he just keeps getting his horses up on these great days.
He's unbelievable. That's the 3rd consecutive Oaks winner, and the magic man, the genius of thoroughbred racing training. Bart Cummings is talking to Peter Donegan in the winner's enclosure.
Here's Bart being congratulated by everyone, including his neighbours down here. Well, Bart, 3 Oaks in a row, another Quinella, just keeps coming.
Yeah, it's pretty bit of a surprise, but a thrilling finish, and well, I'm glad the favourite won for the punters anyway.
Wonderful staying performance. She had to pull out everything, but in the last 100 metres, she just kept on whacking away.
Yeah, well, that's true. The other fillies always showed a lot of promise. She's improved a fair bit since coming down here, and she's a very sort of a slow maturing filly, the grey, and she really improved greatly the last couple of weeks, and was a thrilling finish.
Well, Richfield Lady's performance now, she's the first filly since Chiquita to win all the major races, and that stamps her pretty highly.
Yeah, I suppose the reasons why she keeps winning is she doesn't. She can stay okay, but she got a great will to win. And given a tight finish, she generally puts her head in front at the right time.
She's also got a great temperament too. We were out here with the cameras yesterday. She stood there like a real little lady. Does that help on big days?
Well, she's a really lovely natured filly and very good temperament, and she just forgets all the crowd around, and like any good jockey, good sportsman, they don't get hepped up or excited too much. And she's certainly a pretty good athlete.
Gary Willits just said we might have seen next year's Melbourne Cup winner. Is that maybe in the back of your mind as a long-term plan for her?
Well, it's always a possibility if they win the Classics at 3-year-old and they hold together for another 12 months. There's a very good chance they can do. Go into open company. You see a lot of 3-year-olds can win in their own age over a mile and a half, and when they become a 4-year-old.